What is up, my children? It's your boy Six Mice coming at y'all with that brand spanking new video, and this is my first official scripted what if. And after this, I'll be doing a read through of fanfic. Credits will be given. Don't worry, I never take credit for stuff that aren't mine. But this script is mine because I wrote it it took like 2 hours, but whatever. Um, this is what if Naruto had the ultimate chakra control. So how this series is gonna work is Naruto is gonna see a Jonin teaching. I'll keep it. Y'all just have to listen. But before we start, if y'all want to vote on future what ifs or ships for other what ifs, except this one because the ship's already decided, go join my Discord in the link in the description. Check out the avatars of the Meister Clan, link also in the description. Check out my TikTok for early spoilers on most of my what ifs, also in the description. So, without further ado, let's get started. Naruto is a 4-year-old kid that is mostly neglected and bullied a lot. Until one fatal day when a group of kids were bullying him. The adults mostly just ignored him and called him some badass names like monster, demon, blah blah blah. But while one of these kids are bullying Naruto, he lets it slip and he says, "You demon fox. The fourth Hokage should have killed you when you were still the Nine Tails." And this triggers Naruto because he figured like this is why people have been hating me. I'm the fucking Nine Tails. And he starts thinking about like the day of his birth. That was the day of the Nine Tails attack, all that shit, and it kind of makes sense why everyone ignores, neglects him, everything. And the kid was like, "Oh shit, I just said something I should not have," and he runs away because he found this out by his parents letting it slip to him. So what happens is Naruto knows that he's gonna have to start training because if he is the Nine Tails, people will eventually try to kill him. So he's like, yeah, I should probably try to protect myself because even though um I was once the Nine Tail or something like that, I'm not him now. I am Naruto Uzumaki. So he doesn't know about the Jinchuriki thing. He just thinks he's like the reincarnation of the Nine Tails or some shit. And he's like, I'm not the Nine Tails. I am Naruto Uzumaki. Just because I have the power of the Nine Tails doesn't make me the Nine Tails. So he starts doing taijutsu training, and about a year goes by. He's now 5, and it's about the second month of that year, or that academy here, sorry. And no, he's not yet in an academy. That's only gonna happen a year later. So he was watching a Jonin teach a new Genin team about tree walking because they've been a Genin team for like 2 months. So he sees this and he hears the explanation because he has abnormally good hearing. What we then get is Naruto's actually starting to grow out his hair for some reason. He doesn't want to cut it. No one knows why, but yeah, whatever. And people usually leave him, and he starts doing chakra control training by trying to do the tree walk. And one day, while actually walking down a tree, about a month later, he gets seen by a girl with blonde hair. Yes, it's Ino. Ino sees this and she not yet has the crush on Sasuke because she hasn't seen Sasuke yet. She would only have gotten that crush the next year. But she sees Naruto. She's automatically attracted to his small ponytail. Yes, he has a man bun, so fuck y'all. And his blue eyes. She's like, is he someone in my clan? Nah, it can't be. So she looks and admires at him for a few minutes. She's just staring at the ocean blue eyes of this boy that has not even realized she's there. He then looks over in her direction and she sees that she's gogging at him and he waves. Okay, so after he waves at her, she gets a blush on her face and runs away, and he's like, wonder what that's about. And then just goes back to training. So he can go about, I'd say, half an hour on a tree without falling off because he can't do it unconsciously. He has to concentrate, and he can't concentrate for longer than half an hour. So he starts meditating because he also heard that meditation can up your concentration. After running back home, Ino asks her dad about the boy with whisker marks, blue eyes, and blonde hair, and Ichi starts thinking a little bit, and he's like, whisker marks, Naruto Uzumaki? Because he knows who Naruto Uzumaki is. It's just Ino doesn't know, but Ichi does. He knows that Naruto's the Nine Tails, but he doesn't actually care because he knows the concept of Jinchuriki, and he's like, hmm, he's an orphan boy, and like, then how does he already know tree climbing? And Ichi's like, what? And like, yeah, I saw him down by the river doing um tree climbing exercises, and knows this because she saw some of her clan members doing it, so she knows. We also then get a fucking talking about her feelings to her dad, like, I think I like him, blah blah blah, he's cute, and her dad's like, go for it, like, I don't care, go for it, like, Naruto's a nice kid, go for it, and like, yeah, I will. So the next day she catches him doing it again, and this time she actually stays to talk. Naruto brings up the thing that she ran away, and she's like, yeah, I didn't know what to say, and then they become somewhat of friends. Sorry if y'all you're barking. That's a stupid dog in the background. So afterwards, after they became friends, they started spending more time together. Naruto actually explains the concept of chakra control to Ino. After Naruto and Ino spent some time together, after Naruto started teaching her chakra control, it's about a month in, and both of them can actually do chakra control exercise, which is the tree climbing. Ino was more adept at it because of her small reserves, but she couldn't stay on as long as Naruto because she had small reserves. So, in this time, her reserves grew too, and after this month, she already has gaining level reserves just because of that little bit of training. So, both of them can stay on a tree for 3 hours, and ask Naruto what the next step in chakra control is, and Naruto's like, I don't know, I just saw a Jonin teach this to a Genin, so I tried it, and it's kind of fun. And it's like, I can ask my dad, and Naruto's like, okay, you go do that. And she's like, why don't you come with? And Naruto's like, the adults in the village don't really like me. And she's like, bullshit, just come. And they go, not that type of come. I can see y'all typing in the fucking comments. Shut the fuck up. Okay, so they go over to Ino's place, and Ino actually introduces Naruto to Inoichi, and Inoichi's like nice, and he's like, yeah, hello Naruto, my name's Inoichi, I'm Ino's dad. And Naruto knows that all the Jonin in the village know about him, so he asks like, do you know? And Inoichi lifts up an eyebrow, and Naruto just lifts up 9 fingers, and Inoichi nods and goes, yes. And he's like, then why? And Inoichi's like, because I don't care. And Naruto just gets a giant smile because someone's accepting him technically, so whatever. Um, it's hard to read off scripts. uh, so Ichi starts telling them about the water walking exercise and actually explains it, and explains that they should probably wear bathing suits or swimsuits while doing it because they're definitely gonna get wet. So for the next 3 months, actually, so yeah, it's a pretty long time, they start practicing this, and they finally get it at like, and it's now 4 months. There's just another like 6 months before the academy starts. So Inoichi actually sees that both of these are extremely adept at chakra control, and that Ino's reserves have expanded greatly. So he starts pushing Ino even harder to become stronger, but he also wants Naruto to become stronger, so instead of just teaching them like clan jutsu, he decides he's gonna teach them academy jutsu and stuff. And while they're not trained, while Ino and Naruto are not training together, he teach Ino clan jutsu. But he also wants Naruto to have something because he's grown to like Naruto in this time. He also now gives them the mossy rock or the slippery rock from the filler episodes, so they're gonna do a lot of chakra control training. And they mastered this within a week because now that they know water and tree control, instead of like Naruto doing it in one day, like him and Ino do it in the span of a week because they're still like 5 at this point. So at this point, Naruto obviously already has like Kage level reserves, but is actually breaching the Chunin level reserves because of all the training she does to be able to do this. So what happens is and Naruto have gotten over their chakra control phase because both of them have like mid to high tuning level chakra control, and Inoichi decides to teach them the clone jutsu, but Naruto can obviously not do it, and can actually do it first try. Like surprisingly, she's a genius just like everyone else. So Inoichi starts thinking as like the large amount of chakra and not enough chakra control. Got it. And he's like, "Hey Naruto, wanna learn a special jutsu?" And Ino's like, "No fair. I wanna learn a special jutsu too." Ichi's like, "Uh, you still have to learn the clan jutsu before I can teach you any special jutsu." And Ino's like, "Yeah, I wanna do that." And Inoichi actually starts training Naruto on the Shadow Clone because he knows that because of Naruto's Kage level reserves, he could probably make a bunch of clones. He didn't expect it. Okay, so over the span of the next like 3 weeks, he's teaching Naruto both the Shadow Clone and the Multi Shadow Clone. You ask why it takes 3 weeks? It's because he's only revealing step by step what to do and not all at once like Naruto did in canon. So what happens is Naruto is able to make, listen to this, 400 shadow clones. And Inoichi almost dies because of shock, because that's a way too many shadow clones. And he decides to actually tell Naruto about the trick, but also tell him that if he has too many shadow clones and all of their information rushed to him at once, he might faint. And Naruto's like, "Aight, so I can basically learn jutsu faster." And Inoichi's like, "Yeah, you can." And he's like, "I want to teach you and Ino something." The next day, Ino and Naruto are gathered up in the training yard, and at this point, a few of the Yamanakas are like, "Yeah, Naruto, cool, he's a good kid. Him and Ino are friends, so yite." And Inoichi actually shows up, and he actually did a B rank through the night because he had to a B rank interrogation mission because he does like interrogation and shit. So he's been up most of the night, but he got a few hours of sleep. So he shows up with 2 pieces of chakra paper, and he gives them to Ino and Naruto. Naruto's piece of paper slices into 4, which means he has a high wind affinity, and Ino's gets soaked immediately, which means she has a water affinity. Okay, so he decides that he might get some of his friends to help because there are a lot of people in the village that do not hate Naruto. Not as much as the people that do, but there are quite a few that don't. So for Naruto to learn wind style, he actually requests Asuma because Asuma is on a 1 year break from the 12. So he actually accepts because he was very loyal to Minato because Minato was a good Hokage, and he's one of the few that knows that Naruto is Minato's son. And at this point, Naruto started suspecting it because always told him how pretty his blue eyes and blonde hair are, and he also realized that he used to think the same of the fourth, so he's starting to realize it. And Asuma is gonna teach him some wind style shit, and Inoichi actually knows some water style himself, but also requested an Anbu friend of his, Yamato, to teach her when he doesn't have missions. And Yamato actually accepts because he's not a fairly active Anbu. He's in the foundation, which gives him a lot of time, but he's also a part of the actual Anbu, so he doesn't have the seals and shit. So Danzo doesn't use him a lot. So I'm gonna do a time skip to right before the academy starts. And this is the first time they actually spar because all this time they've been learning from different people in their spare time and just hanging out whenever they got the chance. So Naruto had actually learned how to focus wind chakra through kunai and stuff, and also could do the leaf by now. So don't worry about that. He can do the wind style gale palm and some other minor wind style jutsu. Ino has actually greatly improved her reserves to high tuning to low joning reserves because of all the training Yamato put her through because Anbu are brutal assholes. She can actually do the water style water dragon jutsu about twice before her chakra reserves get low, like dangerously low. And she can actually do the water style water prison and water style, um, I think it was crushing waves. So, oh, and Naruto can do the wind style great breakthrough. So, they actually spar to hand combat. Ino tries to do the water style water dragon jutsu. Naruto uses the wind style great breakthrough to like push the dragon back, and as it was going back, he jumped up and performed the wind style gale palm to basically destroy the dragon. And yes, it's way weaker than Zabuza's because she's not a fucking A rank shinobi. Um, and it's about time the academy actually starts. And at this point, Naruto already talked to the Okage a few times. The Okage's like, "I'm glad you have a friend," blah blah blah. And Naruto's like, "Yeah, thanks, GG." Um, so Naruto and Ino actually start, and Inoichi decides he's gonna drop them off at school, and Naruto has a long hair at this point, and he actually wears it in a down ponytail. So fuck it, yeah. He basically wears it like in this picture, but instead of up, it goes down. So basically looks the same, but as she did in like the last year of the academy, just earlier. And she's a little shorter, but more or less the same clothes, a little different, obviously. And at this point, she had actually started learning in her clan jutsu. She can do the mind transfer at this point, but nothing else. So they, Sakura and Ino have that conversation about who they like. Sakura's like, "I like Sasuke," and Ino's like, "I like Naruto," and they like, "Yeah, we're gonna tell them we like them." And so it's about the first week have passed, and Ino's telling her dad like, "Yeah, me and Sakura decided we're gonna tell the boys we like that we like them." And Inouchi's like, "Yeah, I like Naruto, go for it." And Ino's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, go for it." And Ino actually tells Naruto that she likes him, and Naruto's like, "What's a boyfriend?" because he a klutz. And she explains, and he's like, "Oh, so someone you love more than you'd love your family." I think that the only people I actually love are you and your family. And Ino's like, "Okay, okay. So would you be my boyfriend?" And he's like, "Yeah, why not? I don't really care." So they start dating, and Sakura seeing that Ino did this. At this point, Sakura doesn't have a bunch of fangirls, and the Uchiha clan are not yet dead. They're like a month and 3 weeks, and no one actually had the guts to approach Sasuke because he was talented, he was outgoing, and Sakura was pretty smart. Like they had their first test result back, she got first. Um, Naruto actually got second with Sasuke in third and Ino in fourth. Naruto studies a lot because he wants to have knowledge. He's basically like a second version of the third, like use knowledge to his advantage in battles, stuff like that. So he pretty aight. Um, and then Ino in fourth. So they're like the top dogs. So all of them can do pretty much any ninjutsu, and they do the test for the clone jutsu, but that's so that you can take the graduation test later. Ino does the clone jutsu, Naruto does the shadow clone jutsu, and Iruka's like fuck. And at this point, Iruka doesn't hate um Ino in the slightest. Naruto in the slightest, sorry. Um, he actually appreciates Naruto for working this hard and being this smart. Because at this point he accepted that Naruto is not the Nine Tails because Naruto's a very nice kid. Mitsuki is still a dick, so shit's still going down there. And Sasuke feels inspired to by Naruto and Ino, and even Sakura sometimes to push harder. And because Ino, Sakura's best friend, could do all this, Sakura pushed herself to do it too. And there's only like one other person really even on their level, or even past their level, which is Shikamaru. But he just acts lazy because that's what Shikamaru does. And Choji's actually pretty good in his clan jutsu, not gonna lie. So what happens is Sakura eventually confesses to Sasuke, and because Sasuke didn't have a bunch of fangirls and his family is not yet dead, he actually starts going out with her, surprisingly. About a month goes past, and the Uchiha clan massacres there, and Sakura is obviously like trying to support Sasuke, but Naruto and Ino are too. Sasuke keeps trying to push them away, but they keep coming back. And eventually Sasuke just gives in. He's not the emo Sasuke we know and hate, but also not the fun-loving, childish Sasuke we love. So he's in between the two, sometimes one, sometimes the other, but he knows when to smile, and most of the time he tries not to. So when he's around these three, he probably just opens up, but when he's around other people, he prefers to be, no, an emo bitch. So about another 4 months go by and the first graduation test comes up. First person to want to go is obviously Naruto because he's like, I want to become Hokage. People are gonna respect me, all that shit. And Ino's like, yeah, if my man's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Ino goes up. Sasuke is like, well, I can't let Naruto surpass me, so I'm going up too. And Sakura goes because Sasuke does because that's her boo. Um, Shikamaru and Choji decide to try it because Shikamaru can do it with no problem, and Choji can do it with some struggle, but he can do it. So what happens is they have to go to a graduating class to take the test. They all pass the written test with flying colors. They all pass the Shuriken and Kunai test and the Taijutsu test with also flying colors. And then comes the Ninjutsu test. The bare minimum required to pass this test is 5 clones of any sort, and it's probably just the normal clone technique that most are going to use. Naruto straight up makes 20 shadow clones, which are solid clones. Obviously, this pisses off the Genin and even the instructor, but there's nothing he can do about it because he knows the Hokage is watching. Um, Sasuke makes 10 clones, Ino makes 15 clones, and Sakura makes 5 clones. Shikamaru obviously made like 20 clones himself because he wanted to show off for once in his life because he doesn't like revealing him being strong, but he's like, yeah, I'm here, so I might as well. And Choji actually only makes 3 clones, so he doesn't pass that test, but he did pass the other 2 tests with flying colors, which means he still passes because, as we know, Lee aced the written and physical portions, but dropped the ninjutsu portion. That's why he was last. But Choji wasn't actually last. He was about in the middle with Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Ino near the top. Sakura being more about like ninth or 10th place, and Naruto, Ino, and Sasuke being at like top 5. So I'm sorry for doing all these prodigy what ifs because I do them a lot, but this inspires me a lot because I kind of want to do it. And Naruto and Ino, after hearing they passed, are pretty excited and they want to kind of, practice on chakra control more because look at what just chakra control training did to them. So they go back to Inoichi after graduating, ask for more results because it's going to take a week before they get their sensei. So what happens is there's actually another class that hears about this, and there's a certain group of people that are kind of pissed. And this is Neji, Tenten, and Lee because they all want to prove themselves, and these 6 kids just surpassed them, so they have to graduate early, so they're gonna come up in the next test, which is in 6 months' time. So Inoichi gets some more advanced high jonin to fucking low Ambu level chakra training. Ino and Naruto train on them for the next week, and because of their extensive experience with chakra control training, they can push it down within that week and on a high jonin level at chakra control, and Naruto breaking into the low tuning. Oh, not low tuning, low Ambu, sorry. Misread there. So, yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave it off. This has been 25 minutes. If y'all enjoyed, click on the links in the description to join my Discord to vote on future what ifs, to vote on future ships, and check out the avatars of the Meister Clan where I post what if Naruto had multiple personalities, which is a very good what if, and it needs more attention like right now. And if you haven't, like, subscribe, and comment what your favorite part of the video was. Check out my TikTok for early spoilers. So, This has been the Clan Head. Peace.